God is so strategic in what he does and how he created everything. I was talking to a woman that was 10 weeks pregnant last night, and this morning he gave me a whole word on the process, and I did some research because there were things that I didn't even know. I don't have kids. I didn't even know about pregnancy. And this word, I feel like everybody can relate to at some point in their life. And I had to write this down because only God can piece this together and know all of this. And unless you have kids already, you don't know all these like little facts. So did you know that when the baby is conceived, you are already a few weeks pregnant? So like if the process, if it does fertilize, when they count back like 2 or 3 weeks prior to that. So even though the process happened a few weeks later, they count back on, well, technically inside it started at this date. So you're technically like 2 or 3 weeks pregnant at that point. So let me not get ahead of myself. So did you know that when the baby is conceived, you're already a few weeks pregnant? God has planted the idea, that desire, that seed in you. When you choose to fertilize it and begin, that does not start the process. The process starts days, weeks, months, maybe even years prior when God planted that seed. You moving in obedience allowed for that desire to come forth and begin. The process of growing the promise. You moving in obedience allowed for the desire to come forth and begin the process of growing the promise. The promise was spoken over you before you were in your mother's womb. God already knows all your victories. He sends his angels down ahead of you concerning you. If you talk to most women in the beginning of pregnancy, the first trimester, they will tell you it's difficult. How can a blessing from God be so hard to bear in the beginning? Some days they will explain they are nauseous 24/7. When I was talking to this woman last night, she had sent me a message, and then there was like we were messaging back pretty consistently, but then there was like a pause, and she was like, "Excuse me." After I sent that message, I had to throw up. She's pregnant. So she was like, she's at the phase in her pregnancy where she's nauseous 24/7. The process in the promise is the balancing act. So at the beginning, the first trimester, God says when it comes to the promises, the desires, the different things he's placed into your life, this first trimester beginning is the balancing act. He said there were things on the inside of your mind, on your heart, that you had to learn to let go. The purging process. There were ideas that you thought that had to come to pass in a certain way, but God will has to be done. The dizziness, and this is like where the dizziness comes from. The back and forth between you, what you want and what God wants. He needed you to be still in moments. So that he may grow something in you and through you. You are able to do all things through God who strengthens you. But you have to allow him to do all work. But you have to allow him to do the work. You have to trust that all things are working together for the glory of the Lord. That going through all these tests is something to rejoice about, because it means a big blessing at the end. When you look at the process, the beginning and the ending are intense. The process, and so again, let's use pregnancy as this process. The beginning, the first trimester, the first 12 weeks are very difficult for women, and the birthing process is very difficult to go through. This process takes almost a year. Be patient and trust that God is Lord in your life, and that he sees and hears and already knows everything you are going through. And if you are interested in growing your relationship with God, check out this link and get access to my free ebook. And then I also have journals and other things that will be coming out as well this week. And because God told me He wants everyone to have access to it, everything is either going to be free or He had me take everything down to $1. But I am doing a giveaway for all of my leveled up prayers, for my ebook, for my journals. You'll be able to get all the different downloads for the giveaway. And if you want more information, check out and follow the link. So that was all that God gave me for that message. I don't want to add any of my own words or my interpretations, but that's what I wrote down that God gave me. He gave me another word a couple weeks ago, and so I'm going to upload this one first. And then the one He gave me a few weeks ago, I'm going to upload, because there's a lot of people going through a certain season right now where they're having job loss and all these other things. And that word will connect. And then again, you have to take everything else to God so He can minister and let you know what's for you and what's not for you.